going into sticking on, Allison to Brazil
Yeah.
coming into this tournament, are tournament favorites. I wanted to get your opinion on, is that warranted, that you think they should be, they're deserved favorites going into this World Cup?
I think, all things considered, it's not surprising that they're the favorites. I'll say that. You look at that squad when they were one of the first teams, I think, to release their 26-man squad for the World Cup. And my God, you look at this squad down the line and you're just like, Jesus, man, this team is loaded. Ultimately, it's not surprising that they're the favorites. However, there are clear weaknesses in this team, or a weakness in this team, and it's the fullbacks. They have a fullback issue. Their fullbacks are just not that good. And I don't want to say ass, but they're kind of ass.
They're
Danilo,
not very.
Danny
Yeah.
Alves, Alexandro, and Alex Tellez.
Danny
If you're gonna find a weakness with this team, it's that. And is that going to be the reason why they don't win the World Cup? I don't have them winning the World Cup. I'm not going to over here say the fullbacks are the 100% the reason, but it's definitely not going to help. And ultimately, Tite is a little bit of a stubborn manager. It'll be interesting to see what tactical lineup choices he makes, because on paper that squad is good, but Tite, he's a stubborn guy and he likes his guys who he 100% believes in. So it's going to come down to, is he going to take the guys he 100% likes the most and who he believes in, or is he going to play who's playing the best? Actually, it remains to be seen. And obviously, Brazil's resume speaks for itself. They went undefeated in 17 South American World Cup qualifiers, and I can say Tite is stubborn, but he's won 57 out of 76 matches, which is a 75% win rate as Brazil's manager. And obviously that's expected, to a certain extent, because it's Brazil and, they're, that footballing nation everyone kind of first thinks of, is like them. But, they have only one loss in the last 2 years. And that loss is 2021 Copa America final to Argentina, who I ultimately have them losing to. It's going to take a top team to beat Brazil. And it's going to take, even from a top team, it's going to take a top performance. But, me picking Argentina to win the tournament is not hating on Brazil, or it's not me saying that Brazil is bad in any way, shape, or form. It's just I think Argentina is the team of destiny. And Brazil, it's just going to be another unlucky tournament for them. It's just not quite meant to be for them, in my opinion. It's just not quite meant to be. The stars haven't aligned. It's nothing to do with their quality or anything like that. On paper, they probably have the best squad. I just don't quite think they're destined to win the World Cup ultimately, though. That curse, they haven't won it since 2002. It's going to continue. They aren't winning it this year.
No. I would agree to a lot of the same points that you made. Like they going through qualification, they went undefeated. They went 14 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses. And a lot of this, like you said, they have a fullback problem, and I think that they've had this problem forever. That they don't have that one player. I believe they don't have that one leader. Usually the teams that we pick that are going further, they have that one leader. Like France, they have, that now they have Karim Benzema. Portugal, they have Ronaldo. Argentina, they have Messi. I don't see Neymar as that leader.
As that guy. I can
as
agree with
that guy to be the leader, of like, follow me, I will take you there. And I think that comes down to the fact that they don't have a true, really number 9. Gabriel Jesus has been really good this season, but I don't think that he's that number 9. Like I don't think
Is he a World Cup winning number 9? I don't think so.
I don't think so. And I think when like shit really hits the fan, I don't think they really have that guy that can guide them through it. And they have somewhat of a midfield problem as well, because they're going to be playing Casemiro, who's pretty good, and then who really else, like Fred? You're going to play Fred?
Yeah, or an out of form Lucas Paqueta or something.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
Yeah. Like their midfield is not the greatest. They got a solid center backs in Militao and Marquinhos, and then obviously they have Alisson or Edison. I think they're going to choose Alisson because Alisson's always usually get the
it should be Alisson.
Should be Alisson. And their front three is pretty good, obviously. But then again, also depends on, like, I'm hoping they they play Vinny on the left because Vinny plays better on the left.
Uh-huh.
And if they play him out of position on the right, we won't see Vinny at his best. So it's just gonna. I'm curious to how they're gonna structure this team up exactly because
Yeah.
we haven't really seen it at full strength. And now we're gonna get a chance to see it. And they're a great team, and I think it's not crazy. Like I didn't throw my hands up to be like, well, they're World Cup favorites, but then again, you know, every World Cup favorite, there's never been a World Cup favorite that's won the World Cup. But
Yes,
going into the tournament,
tournament.
every favorite has always never won the World Cup. So I think that's not going to change.
And I like the point you made about, on paper, we know how good on paper this Brazil team is, but there's, things like Vinny doesn't quite play as good on the right as he does the left and things like that. How is this team going to line up? And, we know how good Vinicius Jr. is on his day, but is Tite going to take into account that, like you said, he plays better on the left than the right? Is he going to, even though Vinicius is the better player, is he going to just put Anthony on the right because it's actually where he plays? It's like one of those things. There are question marks throughout the side, not in terms of quality, but in terms of how they line up and how they gel as a unit. My thing with Argentina, who I ultimately think will beat them in the semifinals, we know exactly what Argentina is going to play, how they're going to play, and who's going to be playing where. And there's no ifs, questions, buts about it. They're a cohesive unit. Brazil, they have question marks about those things. So if you're putting those two teams up side by side, who's going to win this matchup? We saw it in the 2021 Copa America final. I'm going to take the well-oiled machine who has already proven themselves as a cohesive unit, has the clear leader in Lionel Messi that these players are willing to die for. We're going to get into Argentina, so not to hound on them too much. Yeah. But I'm just going to lean to other teams over Brazil because of that reasoning about there's just question marks about how they're going to line up and be a cohesive unit. On paper, they have the best squad, but that does not always translate to the results. It's not fantasy football.
Yeah. And, I would tend to disagree with you, but I get the point of what you're saying that like they kind of have the best team on paper, but they still have a very, very stacked team.
Like individual quality, I'm saying, like when you just look at the squads, like you put Brazil's squad in terms of the talent, and you put Argentina's squad. Brazil's squad
compared
is
to Argentina,
better.
Brazil's squad's better.
And I think maybe the team that you're thinking is France,
France,
but
yeah.